All right, guys, we're going to talk about public relations this week. And PR is kind of a tool that helps amplify kind of what you're doing with your marketing. It can benefit business, it can create marketing opportunities, drive people to your TV, sell tickets, merchandise. It can build an athlete's identity, create brand awareness. It can be part of community outreach. And so, kind of a sport specific definition, it's interactive marketing communications that seeks to create a variety of media designed to convey the organizational philosophies, goals, objectives, and identify a group of publics for the purpose of establishing a relationship built on comprehension, interest, and support. So basically, it's a communication strategy that can involve everybody within the organization. Um, Public relations, it evaluates attitudes toward the organization. So when it's done effectively, it could create publicity, both media relations and community relations. It can drive new stories out, and it can the outcomes are not controllable, and there's no guarantee that the stories can be positive. It can help control how that goes out and how it's perceived. So, kind of, what does somebody in public relations do? Well, they build relationships. They communicate, they create plans, they have kind of a strategic approach. They make pitches, they manage stories, manage expectations. They train media on talking points, and they deal with crisis. So, when you're communicating with a news media, verbally or through other media, you got to kind of balance a couple things. You have to somewhat be, you can either be reactive, proactive, or interactive. And those are kind of common sense. Reactive is you wait till something happens and then you deal with it. Proactive is you get out in front of it. And interactive is that you kind of involve everybody in the process of dealing with the media. Community relations obviously is a huge part for organizations. And so these are charitable type things, that outreach programs. And the goal is to achieve, to partner with the public, partner with the community, and kind of gain approval or acceptance in the community. And these types of programs allow fans to see athletes in a different light. And this could be done at any level of sport. And, the way you measure the success of this is just in terms of building your fan base. These are just kind of examples of outreach type programs. I'm not going to go through every one of them, but just some that you can see. So where does public relations fit within the marketing mix that we talked about in the first couple of weeks? So, if the objective of marketing is to develop brand association, then athletes and teams have to capitalize on PR opportunities to highlight, relationships with sponsors, to show their value they have to the people that they're working with. And this has changed a lot because of the digital age. So obviously, it used to be that you had to get up in front of somebody and talk, or you had to have written press releases, but now these things can be sent out in a bunch of different ways. It can be sent out through social media. It can be sent out through Instagram, through any medium, podcasting. And so, you have to kind of pay attention to how organizations are using their PR and where they're using it, and what mediums they're using to get to it. Some other things is that, as far as informing and communicating, that's a big part of PR. And so a good community relations program, it's going to create positive perceptions. And eventually that will benefit them financially because they'll have fans that are bought in and spending money. Some of it is about enhancing image. Obviously, good PR helps people see an organization in a positive light. Okay, I've always thought this was so funny that McDonald's partnered with the Olympic Games. Doesn't sound like a partnership for elite athletes, but it works, and they're able to pull it off. Sometimes it's promoting employee relations. Obviously, players are employees. So, you want to train, and this happens a lot at big universities. They train athletes as soon as they get in the door how to deal with the media, how to deal with talking to somebody and to give a good interview. We're trying to, gain popular support. Some of it is an educational type thing, and helping develop a narrative that allows you to push the message you want as opposed to the message the media tries to craft. It can be a good way of recruiting for colleges or developing new business opportunities. Again, all that's driven by PR. If it's a product-based company, it's a good way to launch a new product, make people aware of it, understand the benefits of it, how it can help them. It's a great way to get feedback. So, PR people are on the front line of kind of monitoring how well something's accepted or rejected. And so this can look at things like public attitude, the economic indicators, and it also fits within kind of the societal events that are going on at that time. And obviously what I think a lot of us think of it is it's a great way to cope with crisis. These are the people who get out in front of events that are bad things that happen for an organization and are able to get the message out there of really what's going on before the media has an opportunity to shape that. And this is a very, very critical part. And then obviously it's about storytelling, guys. These are the people who develop the interest, the connections to sport. They're able to tell the story of the organization, of what it's about, of what particular people's athletic accomplishments or popularity, and drive that out into the public. It's an interesting job because you have to wear a lot of different hats. And so, we have to, as PR people, we have to provide opportunities for these PR people to get interviews, to talk to executives, to teams, and to showcase what it is they do and what it is within that organization that those people do, those players do, those coaches do, that allow the organization to flourish and people to see something other than what's on the field or the court. And so I hope you enjoyed this. I am interested to see how you guys do with this assignment with PR.